Welcome to the show, Playing with Food. I'm your host, Liz Corbett. I've been playing with food for a long time, and I have a lot of tips and tricks to share with you. There's so many easy ways to take party foods and even simple meals to the next level. So if you're feeling uninspired or if you're domestically challenged, it's okay. Stay right here because it's all about maximum flair with minimal fuss. And on today's show, we're making some fresh summer sides and a portable picnic pie. How about some easy fresh dill pickles? No canning supplies needed. For all the fresh ingredients, I would like to personally thank our show sponsor, Miller Farms Family Market, ShopRite of Enfield. We have a lot to do, so let's get started. First thing that I want to show you is easy dill pickles. Now, I said you don't need any canning supplies, and that is very true. This is something that we're just going to prep, put right into some cute little jars, and put right into our refrigerator. So what we're going to start with are the little smaller variety of cucumbers. There's Kirby, all different kind. If you're in the grocery store, just look for pickling cucumbers. They even make it easy for you sometimes and put them right into bags all together, so you don't even have to think. Now, I like a variety of shapes for pickles. I'm going to do one jar with the standard little slices, and I'm going to do another one with spears. Wait till you see how easy this is. We're going to cut off the ends because when you put this in the brine, the little stem end has enzymes in it that are going to make them a little bit soggy. So it's always good to cut those off. We're going to start with these little mini pint-sized jars. They come in lots of sizes. I like to do a bunch of different kinds and do them in smaller jars. And we're going to do one at a time. We're going to do about 3 cloves of garlic. And again, this is just to taste. You don't have to get real crazy with thinking you have to be exact. I've got 3 cloves of garlic going in there, and those are just peeled. You want to leave them whole. I've got some cut up white onion. We're going to do a little bit of sea salt, and again, everything is to taste. Then we are going to add some fresh dill. And again, I like things kind of dilly, so we're going to get a bunch in there. Then we add our pickles. Well, they're not pickles yet, they're cucumbers technically. So I've got slices. I'm doing them kind of thick. You can do them however you want to. That's what's nice about this recipe. You don't have to be real stressed about what they look like. So we'll get some little slices in there. And the smaller pickling cucumbers don't have the big giant seeds in them, so these are actually great for snacking as well. I prefer these. If you're going to cut them up, make little cucumber sandwiches, or putting them in a salad, I just like them better. So we've got some in there. We'll do a little bit more. And again, the recipe, I'm going to have stuff on the website for you. This one is just going to be a really basic dill, which is dill, garlic, onion, a little bit of sea salt, and then the brine I'll show you in just a second. So let's get that into there for our round. And of course, these are great for putting on burgers. You can put them as a little side next to something. And these slice up super easy. All right, so now we have our full jar. Here's the fun part. We have a 1.5 cups of boiling water. This is the only part we have to cook. You just heat up the water. And we have about 1.75 cups of red vinegar. Cider vinegar. You can use white if you're in a pinch and you don't have. The main thing is that you've got the boiling water and the vinegar, and you want to bring that up on your stovetop to a nice boil. Then it's going to go right into the jar. So we're assuming this is boiling hot. Leave a little space at the top. Give it a little headroom. Okay? And that's going to hang out just for a second while we do our other jar. So the same thing again. We've got onions in the bottom. And I love garlic, so we're going to do 3 cloves in there. And I've got some salt. Now we're going to add a couple little extra things to this one. I've got some yellow mustard seed. This is how I measure, okay? About that much. Again, we'll have the recipe for those of you who like to follow directions. And you can also get prepackaged pickling spices, which has peppercorns and all kinds of really cool things in there. So let's throw those in too. Got that in the bottom, and then I'm going to do some dill. And again, same process, but this time we're going to be fun, and we're going to make sandwich slices. Now, have you ever tried to line up all those little slices on your sandwich and they're sliding all over the place? Well, cut them really thin like this. Ta-da! They fit nice, like 2 or 3 side by side. So that's what we're going to do with these. I'll just give you a quick little demo on that. And again, if you have some little random pieces that don't match, that's fine. You can throw them in there. This also works for cauliflower, beets, eggs, whatever you want to pickle, go ahead and throw it on in there. So imagine the things that you could make. Beets is really fun. It's kind of different. It makes a nice little side for summer. Cauliflower, for people that don't like cauliflower, it tastes like pickles. All right, so we got a couple sandwich slices going in there. And again, you could do spears. Sometimes you can find those really cool slicers that are kind of a zigzag shape, and when you slice, they have the grooves in them, like the little grooved pickles that you see. So it all depends on what shape you want to make. So that's why I recommend doing the small jars and doing a little bit of everything, because you can play with the flavors as well. All right, I think we can do maybe one more in there. And again, basic recipe is you've got the things in the bottom of the jar. You want to make sure these are really, really clean. Give them a good boil first to make sure that they're good to go. And then the brine goes in, let it come to almost room temperature, pop a cover on, put those babies in the fridge for about 48 hours, and then you have your own pickles. How easy was that? You don't even need the canner. And these last for quite a while in the fridge as far as safe for eating them, but they taste so good they're not going to last very long at all, so you won't have to worry about it. So that is one idea for some of your summer sides. We can also do something on the sweet side. Now, I think that we should break some rules here, and life is short, so sometimes you want to eat dessert first. So we're going to go to our dessert next. These are adorable because these are one of the things that we find a lot of in the summertime, and that is strawberries. Strawberries are in season right now, and I'm going to make some little miniature portable picnic pies. I was trying to say that fast. What we're going to do is, again, you noticing a theme here? I'm going to use, and I always say cute and adorable, but I can't help it, these cute little adorable jars, these little mini guys right here. We're going to make a little tiny strawberry pie that's going right into this. And you can bake in these because they're made for heat. All right, and we have about, I want to say about, oh gosh, 1.5 pounds maybe strawberries. What you need, you can do strawberries, any kind of fruit. You want to have about 1.5 cups of fresh fruit. So strawberries, peaches, you could do blueberries. I'm doing just a rough little chop here. I don't want them too small because then it'll be really mushy. So you want about 1.5 cups. This is a little more than that. And I've already hulled them. I've already taken off the stems. And again, super, super easy. Let's wait till you see how they look when they're all done. All right, this is going to have some sugar, about 2 tablespoons to the 1.5 cups of fruit. You just want to give that a good sprinkle right on top of there. And we've got about 2 tablespoons of flour. You could use a little bit of cornstarch as well if you wanted to. That's just going to bind it together, and so you don't have juices going everywhere. So we want to give that a little toss. It smells so good. You could also, if you wanted to, you could put some lemon zest in here. Orange zest. Lemon goes really nice with blueberry. I don't know if you remember on the last show we did that with the crepes. So see how it's looking all powdery? That's okay because the juice is going to soak all that up once you get it into the jar. And what you want to do is, I would probably spray or just butter the jars a teeny bit so that they're not going to stick too bad. And you want to fill them, but not way up to the top, because what we're going to do after these bake is we're going to cover them and put them in a picnic basket. And again, sorry, I'm getting all girly here, but how adorable is that? All right, so there's one. Now, I personally think these jars are kind of small, so a little bit later on in the show, I'm going to show you a bigger serving for the strawberry pies because they're really, really good. All right, we had a man overboard there. And again, super easy, 1.5 cups of berries, sugar and flour. All right, now, this is the fun part. You're going to cut little miniature pie crusts to go on top. And the way you're going to have exactly the right size is you're just going to take the ring that comes with these little jars and use that as your cutter. Makes sense, right? So you've got your pie crust already made and rolled out. You've got your circle. We're going to do 2 here. Have to turn it a little bit because it's not quite like a cutter. All right. And this, before we put it on the pie, we're going to do something extra fun with it. You can find these teeny weeny little cutters pretty much anywhere. Cake decorating, any craft place. Get the little itty bitty ones because you're doing these on a small pie crust. I'm going to put a star in one, and the main reason that we're doing this, not just because it looks really fun, is because when you're cooking fruit and you've got all those juices in there, it's going to cook and boil up, and it's going to overflow if you don't have some kind of a vent for the steam. And sometimes the juice runs out, but that's okay. So I've got this here, and this is going to become our little vent for the cover for the pie. So we're going to press that very gently right down inside. I made these once and I was in a hurry and I pressed them on top. If you want to cover them, you want the crust to go down inside the jar. If you're going to eat them right away and you don't care about the covers, you can just press them right on top. So we've got that there. And then the little extra star, you want to dab a little bit of water on the back to make it stick and press that right onto there. And then you're going to give it a little wash with cream or milk and a sprinkle of sugar, and that's going to cook up nice and golden brown. So let's do another one. Let's try, all right, we've got a leaf on this one. So again, you can do pretty much anything you want to. You can do leaves. You could even do a tiny little lattice pie crust, which would be really fun. I'm gonna do 3 leaves on here. And these jars come in lots of different sizes. This is the very smallest one, and this is a standard size canning jar lid, but they also come in what's called a wide mouth. I'm going to show you that one a little bit later. So here's our teeny weeny little lid with our little leaf steam vents, emergency vents on top. And you want to tuck, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this right on top because we're not going to do the cover on this one. And you could go off center, you can do whatever you want. It's your pie. You could make these up for each guest and have them all out on a tray for a picnic. That'd be really fun. How great would this be to bring to somebody who's just having a bad day or they're not feeling well? This would perk me right up. All right, so we've got these here. And again, look how adorable is that? And a little brush of cream or milk and a sprinkle of sugar on top is going to make that nice and golden. And then we've got the little star one here. So Valentine's Day, you could do hearts. I mean, there's all kinds of fun things you can do with this. Those are going to go in an oven for about 375. And I would check them at around 20 minutes, especially for these really little tiny half pint guys. 20 minutes, 25 maybe, but you want to catch them before they're kind of bubbling up and running over and getting all sticky, because I've already done that. Your best bet is to put them onto a baking sheet, like a cookie tray or something like that. And when they're done, I reach into my magic oven right here, they are going to come out looking all fun like this. Now see, I don't know if you can catch on the camera how sparkly that is with the sugar, but it just makes putting that milk on there and the sugar really gives it that nice golden brown. If you leave it plain, it's okay, but it's not as fun as like this. So we've got these little mini guys, and you see how the crust is just sort of setting on top? Again, if you were going to cover these with a lid, you're going to want to press the pie crust down inside like so. All right. Now, here's another really cool thing about these pies. You can bake them up and just serve them as is. They probably last maybe a day or two before you can put them out at the most. The other idea is that you could prep a whole bunch of these, get them to this point, and then put them in the freezer. So you want to cover them well, pop them into the freezer, and then if you have company coming over, you can be all like, oh, I think I'll make pie, and then you just pull them out of the freezer, bring them to room temperature. They're going to take a little bit longer to bake if you do it that way. But how fun is that? Make like, I don't know, a dozen, 24 of them, a whole bunch of them, because these jars are fantastic. They're freezer safe, they're oven proof, they're just awesome. So little tiny portable picnic pies, I didn't mess that up, are great for a picnic basket, for any time. You know what? Make a couple for yourself. They're really adorable. So that's going to go like that. We're going to pretend this one's going into the freezer. So that is how you're going to do that guy right there. All right, now let's talk about Another option, since we did dessert first, let's talk about another option for a salad that we can make in the summertime. Now we have a lot of our traditional potato salads, pasta salads, things like that, deviled eggs, which I love. I absolutely love all of those. I wanted to show you something that's kind of different. My goal on this show is to inspire you to try new things, things that you haven't tried before. I have found a really interesting side salad recipe which has some unusual ingredients, I think unusual as far as combination, unusual ingredients in it. The basis for this is going to be tropical fruit. And I have chosen some mango. I don't know if you can see, we've got the two colors in here. We've got mango and I have cantaloupe. You could do mango and papaya, guava, really anything you want to. And the recipe is going to be on the website, and I'll tell you about how much to put in there. And you want to cut them up fairly small, you know, 1/2 inch or smaller, because it's going to be a nice little bite size for your salad. And this is where it gets kind of crazy. This is where you're going to put in things like, okay, wait, I have to show you this one next because this is really fun. If you've never had this before, you may be concerned that this is like a bowl of ants or something. It's not. It's black rice. Now, I've had wild rice combinations that have black rice in it, but I've never made it just as is like this. I didn't realize, but this black rice is really good for you. It has more antioxidants than blueberries. So if you're not a blueberry fan, head for the black rice. We're going to be wild and crazy, and we're going to throw this right into the tropical fruit. So this is where it gets interesting. You want to just cook it according to the package directions. You want to rinse it in cool water. And this is, it almost looks like caviar. So you've got black rice, you've got the tropical fruit. All right, now we're going to get interesting. There is an option to put a habanero pepper in here. I did leave it out. We've got onions diced, so a little bit of sweet, a little bit of savory. We've got some chopped up celery. You could do cilantro if you wanted to. All right, it's getting kind of interesting. And we have avocado. And I tried an experiment. I left the pit in, and it seems to have worked. By leaving the pit in, when you've got it all cut up, it didn't get all brown and scary. So I think that's kind of cool. That's a fun tip. We're going to throw in the avocado. I've got that diced up. And we're going to add a little bit of fresh lemon. And the lemon is going to help to keep that avocado from turning too much. Again, you always want to do room temperature. And you want to give it a little roll. I should have rolled it before I cut it. And then you want to do the lemon juice. You want to do a little bit of black pepper. And a little dollop of olive oil, and give it a good stir. So I want to know if you try this one, because I think it's pretty cool. It's a really interesting combination of things, and I don't think your guests would be expecting it. So I'm going to challenge you to make this for your next picnic or get together. All right, let's do a little bit more lemon in there. All right. And how easy is that? That is done. Excellent. Now, that was extremely easy, as I showed you, and you have no excuse to not try some of these yourself. I would love to hear from you if you do, so please connect with me to find the recipes for today's show on the website, playingwithfood.tv. During this short break, we're going to hear some tips about selecting cantaloupe, one of the things that I used in here. When we come back, join me at the table where I'm going to show you some great tips for packing your picnic basket. We will be right back. Hi, I'm Liz Corbett, host of the TV show Playing with Food. And we are here today at the Miller Farms Family Market, ShopRite, and we're going to be talking to someone in the produce department. Have you ever wandered aimlessly around, not really sure what you're doing, not really sure what's fresh, what isn't fresh, how to pick the best thing for, say, a fruit salad? And have you ever wanted to know more about cantaloupe? Well, if you have, Josh is going to help us out. Thanks, Josh.
Absolutely.
One of the first things I want to know about a cantaloupe is, when you're picking them out in the grocery store, probably a lot of them arrive not quite at that peak freshness point, but what is the best way to find one if you want to eat it right away? How do you know if it's fresh?
I find the best way to tell if a cantaloupe is fresh is it will lose a green color on the outside shell. You can also take and push on the inside where the stem is, and when there's a little bit of give, it's usually ripe, and you'll also be able to smell the melon.
Excellent. So now if people are picking up the melons and they're smelling them and very gently pressing on them, they're not going to get in trouble for doing that, right?
Absolutely
They're just
not.
checking to see if they're fresh or not.
Yes, they are.
Okay, awesome. Also, what do you think would be some great fruits to combine with a cantaloupe in a fruit salad? What goes nicely with it?
The best fruits to go with it, I find, is honeydew melons, watermelons, pineapple goes well with it, and grapes as well.
Because it is a tropical fruit, so you kind of want to stay in that family, the tropical fruits.
Yes, and the pineapples, the citrus will actually help keep your cantaloupe and your other melons ripe.
That is an excellent suggestion. That's great. I didn't even think about that. Now, I'm wondering if you know our fun fact of the day about cantaloupe. Do you know how heavy, well, first of all, how much does an average cantaloupe weigh, do you think? Take a wild guess.
Probably about 1.5 pounds.
Pound and a half. Did you know that the largest cantaloupe on record weighed over 64 pounds?
I did not know that. That's a big cantaloupe.
Isn't that awesome? That's a lot of fruit salad.
That is a lot.
Thank you so much, Josh, for helping us out.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to Playing with Food. I'm your host, Liz Corbett. I've always loved show and tell, so I'd like to share some great tips for packing a picnic. Of course, you have to take an adorable basket. That seems to be my word of the day. Picnic baskets are awesome because you just need to know you're on a picnic. This one has sentimental value because it's actually a pie safe. But again, here are some of your great tips. I'm just going to fire them off. Are you ready? One of the things I want you to know is that if you are planning on bringing a bottle of wine, maybe you're planning on bringing 2 bottles of wine on your little picnic. Here is an awesome way to pack them. I've got mini little drink bottles here to demonstrate because I didn't want to have full size on the table. You're going to put them on a square fabric like a large cloth napkin, very small tablecloth, depending on how large those bottles are. You want to put them like so with a space in the middle. You're going to wrap like this and you're going to go toward the point. This is kind of fun. And hopefully if we did it right, ta-da! Okay, you're going to come up in the middle and then you're going to tie those ends like so. You have a carrier for your wine bottles. How cool is that? You're welcome. They're not going to bang together. It's going to insulate them a little bit, and it's just a fun way to carry them. So I would honestly do this with anything. It's really cool. That is one idea. To keep your wine or your drinks cool at your picnic, I would also recommend frozen grapes in your drink because they're not going to water it down like ice cubes would. Here is that little pie that I told you about. This is the bigger serving size. Hello, this is more my size. All right, we've got this right here. And then the cover is going to go right on there to make it portable to put into your basket. So we're going to pop that right on into here. And in here, I have a special grown-up drink. Now this grown-up drink does 2 things for you. It is frozen lemonade with a little hit of either rum, vodka, whatever your favorite liqueur is to spike your lemonade. And it keeps things frozen in your picnic basket. And then when you get there, you have an adult slushie, which is really fun. So just poke a little straw right into the corner. So multi-purpose there. We have a couple of ideas for keeping your picnic green. I really like to get away from using a lot of the paper goods, etc. So I am all for using bandanas. Bandanas are fabulous. They can hold your silverware, but again, look what I have here. I've got bamboo, which is very cool because you're just going to reuse it. You could also do regular utensils. You just roll that right up into your bandana and you've got your napkin and your utensils all together. You could do a bigger one, and instead of a napkin, that becomes a lapkin. So again, try to go with the fabric and with the bamboo and things like that to be very green with your picnic. When you're at your picnic, we're just rolling right along here. There's our pickles already done. Bring a shower curtain liner, the heavy ones. Yes, the ones with little rings on the end. You can cut that off if you want to. Put that under your picnic blanket, and then you're not going to get a wet tushy when you're sitting on the grass. You're welcome. All right, so that is an excellent thing to do. You also need to know this awesome fact. If you want to put fragile things into your picnic basket, like fruit, grapes, little pies and such, this is extremely fun. You know how you get packing peanuts when you get something in the mail? Hello, real peanuts. You just dump them into your basket around the fruit and all of the fragile items. Great thing about it is they are biodegradable because then you're going to eat them at the picnic. Isn't that awesome? I just think this is so cool. So put everything, arrange it how you want it. Get your peanuts in there, packing peanuts. Maybe share some with the squirrels if you want to. Another cool idea for reusing things is those little cardboard containers that you get with six-pack drinks. Bring those with you because they fold flat, and you can use that to hold up your utensils, napkins, anything like that. There's so many things that you can do. These are just a few. If you want a few more ideas, I definitely have them for you. But I think this one here is probably one of my favorites with a wine bottle. I think the packing peanuts is pretty cool. And I really kind of like the frozen lemonade that's in there, so I'm saving that one for me. So we've done a lot of really cool things here. I hope you're going to do some of these ideas. On today's show, I shared some great ideas, and for picnic foods or any time for that matter, I hope you saw something new that you're inspired to try. Remember, for today's recipes or to connect with me, go to playingwithfood.tv. Join me for future episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time on Playing with Food.